Welcome everyone, this is Trip and welcome to Home Mushroom Cultivation. This is part 4. Today we're going to be doing pasteurization for oyster mushrooms. The way I do it is I use 2 different methods. I use cold pasteurization to pasteurize the straw, which is usually your casing layer, and then I use an oven tech, heat pasteurization for the main substrate. So I'm going to show you first how we do for oyster mushrooms. You need to have already ordered your wood pellets, your gypsum, and get some calcium hydroxide. This is hydrated lime, and it's going to bring the alkaline level up so high that it's not sustainable by life, and it kills everything that's on the straw. And we're going to do a soak with the straw. So I got here about 2 cups, 3 cups of straw. I just grabbed a handful. And what we're going to do first, we're going to get a bucket, and we're going to chop this up. So get that nice and, like to 1 or 2 inches pieces. It's easier to work with. These scissors aren't very sharp. Make sure you get sharp scissors. Okay. So anyway, you cut all the straw up in little pieces, and then we're gonna dump some calcium hydroxide on it. Okay, this is calcium hydroxide. Okay, so I have a 1/3 cup. Oh no, let's do the teaspoons. Okay, I have a teaspoon here. I'm going to do 3 heaping teaspoons. Heaping meaning as much as you can get on the spoon. Like that. 1, 2, and 3 here. 3. Okay, that's all you need. And then you're gonna put 2,000 mLs of water, just from regular tap water. Doesn't need to be distilled or ionized. Here you go. So we put the water in there. After our straw is all cut up. And then we're going to give it a little stir. So we got it in there. And the point of this is that we're getting the water, getting this dissolved. Lime takes a little while to dissolve. So that's why you soak this overnight. So we're going to just get that in there like that. See, most of the straw is covered. You can see most of the straw is covered by the liquid. And then we just put a lid on that and let it sit overnight. And like you can put it somewhere where you can see it, and every time you pass by it, give it a little shake or a stir. If it has a lid on it, just shake it up. Or do that, just to help dissolve the hydrated lime in there. Okay, so once we're done with this, you put that away. So now you need another Okay, next we're gonna mix up our substrate, the main substrate. This portion of the substrate we're gonna heat pasteurize in the oven. So the first thing you want to add is your wood pellets. This is oak wood pellets, or you can use sawdust. This pretty much dissolves down to sawdust once you get water on it. Okay, so let's see how we do this here. Okay, let's do 2 of these. I think it'd be better if I tried this. one a little fuller. Okay, so we want 2 of these 1,000 ml container. Okay, and then we're going to put about 500 mLs of vermiculite in it so that it holds the water well, helps hold the water. So that's half of this. There's about half of that. Okay, then we're going to add some gypsum. And this helps give structure to the soil, some texture. And we're going to do, this is 1/3 cup. I do 1/3 cup of this gypsum. And it can be a little overflowing, you know, it's heaping. It's an eyeball guess. Okay, once we get that in there, we mix it up. Oh yeah, you gotta get some, before you start all this, start your boiling water. So now we want to get this mixture, so we're gonna see it. We want to get it mixed up. You do it by hand, or you can put this on it. This is a paint mortar mixer on a drill. See, the drill has a paint mortar mixer. That's all you need to mix that up. Okay, so we're gonna wait for the water to boil. Okay, I added a little bit more water to this. It depends on how dry your wood is, but the wood chips are pretty dry. So I ended up adding about 2,000 mLs of water to get it to this point. And you just want it not to be soaking wet. You know, if you crunch it with your fist, you should only get a couple drips of water out of it, if even. But it should be like a lightly watered, muddy consistency. So once that's mixed up, you want to put that in a baking pan. I'm going to do this. Back up some of this stuff on the bottom. Okay, it still looks pretty dry, but this should be good enough for pasteurization. We'll put moisture into it before we put it into the bags. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You want to put some tin foil over the pan so you don't lose too much water. So okay. Like that. Okay, so you're gonna bake this, preheat your oven to 225 and bake it at 200 for 90 minutes. That's about how much. What you're gonna wanna do is about 30 minutes into the baking process, you want to get yourself like just a meat thermometer like this and poke it through and get it into the middle of that substrate and see what your core temperature is. Once it's 160, then start timing it. And you time it to 90 minutes. Oh no, 60 minutes. So all in all, the whole bake time is about 90 minutes. It's going to take 30 minutes for the substrate to preheat to 160. That's what I was trying to say. Okay. So we're just going to bake this at 200 for 30 minutes. We're going to check the temperature. If it's 160, we set the timer to 60 minutes. Okay. So we're going to bag it after it pasteurizes and cools. So to get your CVG going, you're going to first use cocoa core. I use coconut pith. And I use the loose. You can buy this in blocks. You just have to break it up yourself. It's easier to buy it this way. This is it's ground up. It's already been ground for you, and it's like a soil. It's great for holding moisture. So we're gonna get our 5-gallon bucket here, and we're gonna weigh. This is gonna be a 4-to-1 ratio when in your core and your vermiculite. So whatever you're using to measure, all you do is you measure out 4 of them. See if we can get these. One. Two. Three. 4. Then we're going to do 1 container of vermiculite. This is my vermiculite. Fill this up. And then we're going to do some organic gypsum. Excuse me. Okay. This is a 1/3 cup. I'm going to take my gypsum. I'm going to add a 1/3 heaping cup to this. I always eyeball the gypsum. I don't weigh it out or anything. I do 1 big heaping cup of gypsum in there. You could do 2, you could do 3, you know, you could do up to a couple pounds, but I don't think it's necessary. I think it just needs to give it enough consistency for a texture to form. Okay, so now the next thing we're gonna need is water. So we've got our CVG, and we're gonna put moisture in that. So this is 1,500 mLs or 1.5 liters of water. And we're gonna heat this, and we're gonna boil it actually. So pour the water in there, soak the boil. It doesn't take that long to boil that much, believe me. Okay, so while that's boiling, I add one more thing to my CVG. You don't have to do this. This is for dung-loving mushrooms. But you want to add some horse manure. And I've got a whole big thing of horse manure here. And I'm just going to add like about 4 or 5 shovels of it. So, open this up. And if you're going to use horse manure, make sure it's been aged about a year. That's what it takes to become prime compost. So I'm just going to put in there, if I can get heaping shovels full. Okay. Now I also add calcium hydroxide. This is calcium hydroxide. Get a portion of that. And all it is hydrated lime. And this is what agriculturalists do. They add lime to their soils to bring the pH up. Because a lot of these contaminations can't grow in high pH levels. So that's why they lime their fields. And just like we lime at home, we lime our substrate. And this one, I'm going to use the same 1/3 cup, but I'm going to do a level one this time. Okay. We give this a mix. You mix it all up really good before you add the water. I'm going to get those big chunks of calcium hydroxide busted up. So now our 2,000 mLs of water is boiling. And I'm going to pour it into the substrate. Get these gloves on. Okay. Oops. Mix that up. That's it. We're going to put that in the pan and cover it with foil, and that'll take 90 minutes to bake. Okay, so that's pasteurization. Once it's baked, you let it cool to room temperature before you use it. We'll be doing that class next week. We'll be transferring the spawn grain to the bulk substrate next week. So that's it for pasteurization. This is Trip. I'm out.